the unstoppable Hunter Snowball. And he also feels powerless against Miracle draws. And when he's in that hot seat, I know for a fact that himself, mentality-wise, feels a lot weaker when you just can't focus because you're getting tilted by it's like, oh, here comes another draw as a Miracle. So he's going to get rid of that. Meanwhile, of course, he brings up his own Miracle. So that way he can be good against whatever comes out from Ek0p. 3 out of the 4 classes I feel like are in his favor. Pretty strong start.
Yeah. He started off with Auctioneer, which is very good. But he also didn't have the coin. And Ek0p's hand isn't very powerful. However, it is one of those early game hands that might give him the tempo that he needs. If he can curve out here nicely, which it's looking like he can with the low Theb, he might actually be able to win this as the warrior. But again, it's too early.
Low Theb is a great response to deny the Miracle. It's one of the key cards for sure to disrupt their ability to use Gadget Stand, even if Gaara has it in his opening hand. Now, there are ways for Gaara to make up this card deficit. He has Backstab as a cheap replacement and activate his SI7. He just needs to pick up something like Preparation, though, and eventually just get those chain draws going. It's very important for that Miracle to make sure that she can get those draws and cycle through the Leroy before Warrior can get up a huge high health count and then make it impossible for you to burst.
Yeah, the one problem the Rogue has against the Warrior is that if you can get too high of a life total with like 2 Armor Smiths behind a taunt, it is actually very, very hard to push through. But he's taking the proactive step, which is killing the Armor Smith before it becomes a problem, which it would have been next turn with the Unstable Ghoul, potentially coining out the Armor Smith as well. I think he's going to go for the Shield Slam clear, just play it slow, which is good. He's got a lot of cards in his hand.
I can get behind that. Try your best to answer the threats and force Miracle to have things to do. Otherwise, they are just sitting duck and passing like what you see here from Gaara. The 2-2 Van Cleef would be such a waste, honestly. So he ends up weaponing up, passing over here.
It's worth noting that he could have went for a 6-6 Van Cleef by shadow stepping the Van Cleef. And after using 1 Shield Slam, he only has a few outs left, like the 2 executes, and the other Shield Slam wouldn't have even been enough either.
Right, would need Shield Block in order to chain with that.
Yeah, he would need a Shield Block into the second Shield Slam. And he would need Execute and an Activator.
Yeah, but with Gadget Stand in hand, do you really need to come to that conclusion, like this is what I need to do at the moment to put on pressure? It's not even that much of an urgency at the moment. You might be throwing away your best way to actually win the game by using up half your hand unnecessarily.
Well, it's only 2 cards for a 6-6. It's not too bad, and it gives him a lot of options to pressure the Warrior early. Because if you can get on board early and they can't deal with it, that's a very strong start.
All right. Well, now he's thinking about it.
Yeah, he's for sure mulligan. He's for sure thinking about it now. The problem with making it at 8-8 though is that it opens up the big game hunter.
Ooh.
Tough calls.
How common is BGH now in Warrior decks? That used to be included quite often because of back then Panlock was very popular, but now they cut it quite often. Do you feel like BGH is often rotated into Warrior now?
Before now, I would say that absolutely Big Game Hunter is not something to worry about against a Warrior, but as Handlock is getting more and more popular, you can definitely start to see some Big Game Hunters coming.
Wow.
Ooh.
Well, Ek0p gets the best way to deal with this Van Cleef of just a weapon, not to mention that he can get synergy off of his Acolyted Pain. And that's kind of annoying for Gaara, but at least he still has his Gadget Stand Auctioneer, which doesn't have a clear way to get draws this turn.
No, he's not going to get any draws this turn. It's worth considering attacking before Phantom Knives, just to deny an extra armor, because you probably want to kill that Armor Smith anyway. But if he really wants to save the Blade Fury, The thing is, though, if he saves the Blade Fury, it opens him up to, again, like a Lotheb or something.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now Ek0p takes this opportunity, I think, to play a bigger minion. Acolyte's just not. You really want to play it, or do you want to play Lotheb to deny a potential auctioneer turn ahead of time? I think the bigger minion makes the most sense here. Lotheb in reaction to Gadget Sand is the best way to use it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think he's just debating whether or not he wants to attack with the Death Spite. He was debating playing the Acolyte and drawing a card and gaining some armor, but just playing the Sylvanas is a lot better. Of course, it lets him kill Auctioneers, lets him kill Azure Drake.
Well, Gaara can get draws with Azure Drake without having to commit his Auctioneer. The question is the follow-up, because this Sylvanas does pose to be quite the problem.
Well,
He had Sap, it'd be a great way to deal with it, but
he could backstab, play the Blade Fury, kill both the minions, and then play the Azure Drake. Or he could play the Auctioneer, backstab, Shadow Step the Auctioneer, and Blade Fury. Both good options.
yeah, that's actually a good point. It would stack a little bit more armor, but he would at least have a 4/4 on the body. Instead, he's
Yeah.
opting to go damage to the face, so this is a very different line that he's taking. I think I favor your play a little bit more, but Gaara is opting to be slightly more aggressive on the board, which won't pay off considering that there is Death Bite, triple armor being gained. Ugh.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to take an aggressive stance to try and force some cleanup from the warrior, but not a very good play when you're behind in cards and behind in tempo. I think he's maybe just trying to set up a better Blade Fury. But
Well,
any Blade Fury that you make without the Auctioneer is going to be very, very rough. But again, he has the option next turn for the Gadgetzan Shadow Step Blade Fury if he really wants to. But if he just coins out the Lotheb here,
oh yeah, shut down the opponent's ability to use the Gadgetzan Auctioneer. That could be preemptive if you want to seal the deal, but still a little premature because it's not like he has the guaranteed ability to press in for damage next turn. I wouldn't mind Lotheb, but I think Senjin Shieldmaster opens up a lot more flexible options. Okay.
the thing is though, as the Miracle Rogue, your hand is most likely a bunch of spells, so he's pretty much getting in 12 guaranteed damage.
Yeah, that's true.
If he wants to sap here, he's going to be sapping the Sylvanas. That's going to take up his whole turn. Again, then he's going to be taking another 7 damage. And then he's just going to have to see the Sylvanas and armor up next turn.
But he does have a clear with Deadly Poison and Blade Flurry the following turn. So there are ways for him to climb back. But you're right, the 12 damage is going to sting and always threatens the possibility of lethal, but it's still not decisively in Ek0p's favor yet until he's able to kill the Miracle Rogue.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
One of the ways that the warrior could close it out is by picking up a Death Spite and Grom within a couple of turns. So
That would be excellent.
Yeah, so getting the rogue to 9 health is definitely something that's...
Wow, he's going for Deadly Poison on his trying to maximize his damage here. And that won't allow him to get maximum value off of this Deadly Poison charge because of the Senjin Shieldmaster that's available to him.
Yeah. He's going to get denied by the Senjin more than likely. And he's going to be going down to 9 health.
Well, 9 health plus if he needs to attack the Senjin to clear it. And gives his opponent a lot of armor, by the way. Don't forget that there's an Armor Smith out there, which will pop a lot of the damage and get at least 5 armor from 5 targets, unless you kill it off first.
I think I like this line as well. It's a bit weaker to Blade Fury, but you can also get in some face damage with the weapon. If you choose to go about that route, getting in the face damage, putting the opponent really, really low is really good, and you're going to get at least 5 extra armor. Let's see if he chooses to equip the weapon and go face, or play safe by armoring up. I would personally play the weapon and go face.
You're at 27 health. Your opponent's at 9 mana. There is ways for your opponent to kill you, but he needs a very specific set of cards. I think you can get away with it. Second sap. Still no preparations for Gaara, but now you can draw into it. You can go for board clears with backstab, sap, blade flurry. But he is going to give his opponent a lot of armor in the process.
Yeah, if he goes for backstab on the Lotheb and attacks the unstable ghoul and then Blade Furies, he can board clear. But then if he does that, he's going to have to shadow step the auctioneer because he would just run out of steam otherwise. And you're giving your
he can
opponent...
sap Sylvanas, so that way he doesn't do. He might get preparation as well. You never know.
No, of course. He's
Gaara
definitely...
needs to, by the way, hurry up here. Miracle turns do take a while because of animations.
Yeah.
Sap on Sylvanas. He doesn't have to attack into Unstable Ghoul either to prop it. You can just use Blade Flurry right now.
I guess that works. Yeah.
Still not over. He picks up Shadow Step on this Gadget stand, which, like you said, doesn't feel like much. It is vulnerable to the Fiery War Axe as well. And Gaara is just going to couldn't even make a decision whether or not he wants to Shadow Step his Gadget stand. At least if he did, he didn't consciously make it. The timer decided for him.
So he's going to go for the copy Faceless and draw 3 cards here. Maybe try and pick up a way to kill his opponent.
Yeah, sounds solid to me. Execute, draw, shield block, draw 2.
And gain 5 life.
Right. Now that makes shield block seem like a very strong card indeed. And now Ek0p has the way to kill his opponent over the next turn. The swing with the weapon feels minorly inconsequential because you'll be able to do that damage next turn, barring a Sludge Belcher.
Yeah, I think it's fine to hold the weapon here. But if he swings with the weapon, it gives him a few more outs because he could draw another weapon.
It's true. And his opponent can't simply remove this Gadget stand with their face if they had the opportunity to. All right, well, Gaara finally starting to get draws again, but it's not looking good already.
No, it's not.
He has double Blade Flurry in his deck, by the way.
Yeah, it's very common amongst Tempo Storm players. I've seen a lot, aside from Hyped, I've seen a lot of... there's the
Look at that top deck to win the game, and Ek0p, of course, calculated this possibility. And he ends the game on 34 health impact, which is way over the threshold at which Miracle Road can do in one turn unless they have an insanely... idea. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
So
cards you're looking for from both sides are the Acolyte of Pains. So both players do have their acolytes.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Keeps Sylvanas in hand. Oh, he gets Harrison Jones as well. So good tech cards to swing the matchup.
He knows where this game's going. Keeping the Sylvanas. Sylvanas is probably one of the strongest legendaries that you can get in this matchup. So guaranteeing that he has it when he needs it is very smart.
Yeah, it's the control queen, so to speak. She does everything to disrupt the board. You have to make a really tough choice of playing around her or just giving up whatever is existing out there. And now Gaara's going to coin out his Acolyte, really hoping his opponent doesn't have Fiery War Axe. But it seems like the best way of action is to just kill off with Cruel Taskmaster.
Yeah, you have to kill it off here with the Taskmaster. I think if you play your own Acolyte, you're just going to fall too far behind. Being able to deny the Paladin draw and then get your own Acolyte and play later is a lot stronger.
Yeah, it's as simple as next turn. We're able to get that. Now, Gaara doesn't have a very strong follow-up to this play. Only has pretty much his hero power, other than just his Aldor Peacekeeper, which feels very weak because it can get cleared easily compared to what you can do.
Yeah, and Aldor is a card that can get much better value the longer the game goes. Being able to nerf those threats, such as Alexstrasza, is very powerful. It also helps you make amazing trades with your weapon and with your other big monsters. I guess he considers the tempo too important to not get it in play right now.
Well, this provides quite the conundrum now, considering the Acolyte is there, and it will get 2 draws unless Gaara wants to do something drastic. Doesn't seem like he will, though.
No, I see the...
Oh my, he's playing a quality that desperately to kill off the board and deny the 2 draws from the warrior. This is an interesting approach. He's really trying to make sure to minimize his opponent's early game value. He's that confident in his late game.
I like it. I think you have to deny the Acolyte draws because when Warrior gets 2 or 3 cards off Acolyte, that's when you really have the trouble. If Warrior isn't getting that many draws early, Warrior isn't going to be able to compete with the late game threats of the Paladin.
Yeah, I was told, I don't know if it was by you, by a few other people though, that the easiest way to lose the Paladin versus Warrior is to lose on Acolyte value.
Yeah.
Because their removal scales much better on the board than yours does because of how 1 mana slot allows you to drop in another creature versus the Paladin. You're often trying to use up a little bit more chunks of your mana, like Consecration or even like True Silver Champion. So Gaara is going to play with this in mind and make it as much difficult as possible. Ek0p picks up Faces Manipulator to answer his opponent's Sylvanas.
That is a beautiful
We have
draw.
ourselves a pretty big fat board.
Yeah, we're gonna see a Shield Slam on the copied Sylvanas after killing the Lotheb.
Yeah. That is pretty nice to take your opponent's Sylvanas here. Even though you use 2 pieces of removal, you're effectively gaining 1 back by stealing their Sylvanas.
Yeah. Do you like using the Execute here? I guess it's good for tempo. He's definitely considering it.
Protecting 2 damage on the board. You did see an equality used, though, so you're much more likely to commit, right? You're not real afraid of overextending as much.
Yeah. The problem with using that equality so early was now he's got 2 Wild Pyros in his hand, and his opponent has a huge board, and he has no real recourse.
Well, he's got Garden of Kings, and as a way to just slam something down the strongest minion, Ek0p can take it. Now, keep in mind the 2 cards in Ek0p's hands are ways for him to add a lot of pressure onto his opponent. But Paladin's one of the best at rebounding, but if you don't have the board, then your rebound is pretty useless. Like Holy Light on a board that's attacking you for 8+ is not going to do much. So this is going to be a tricky situation indeed for Gaara in the next coming turns.
Yeah. I'm expecting to see some sort of maybe Sludge Belcher Humility or Humility Kodo now. Or just maybe Kodo.
Well, Kodo has 3 out of 4 chances of hitting something pretty nice.
Yeah,
an alternative
you can
play,
just hit that and then play the Kodo. Lay on Hands doesn't feel strong when you're this far behind on board.
Oh man, Lay on Hands it is. Gaara wants more answers. He wants a quality, perhaps, and searching for his ability to clear the board. He gets a quality, so it does pay off.
He gets Equality and Ysera, two huge cards in this matchup.
The card advantage is just nuts. Gaara is practically full danger of overdrawing, and his opponent is drawing one legendary at a time. Oh, man.
Sometimes you don't mind only having one or two cards if your one and two cards are amazing.
Yeah, there it is. Opponent's at 7 health. This game escalated so quickly. Gaara has the availability of going for an... So, wait. He's going to Quality Consecrate before attacking with Garden of Kings?
Does he forget that Sylvanas will just take
to take his 5-1.
Oh,
Gaara
no.
realizes he made a mistake here. His opponent's at 50 health. Oh my goodness.
50 to 7, man.
Gaara is not happy about this.
No. You just slam rag here.
Yeah.
Go for the 50-50 to win the game.
I think so. And Ek0p's going to try to punish his opponent as best as he can. End the game at 52 health. Not a good move here from Gaara to forget about the Sylvanas and have to kind of question what he was thinking at the moment. It might cost him game 2 here.
And it does.
Oh, and that ends it. The 50-50 goes Ek0p's way, and Gaara's Paladin, which is heavily favored, is... Now, how does he answer this Warrior deck? Maybe he's praising Ek0p.
I don't know, man. I've seen some pretty nasty comebacks. And looks like he is playing the Mind Control Ysera build.
Okay. And keeps Akanai Soul Priest in hand. Wow, that is such a slow... That is a slow hand. But you know, Gaara might be playing a Control Priest. It might not be the Tempo Priest that we've come to expect.
Yeah, I saw Kalento doing really well with a Control Priest. So maybe he's taken inspiration from that. He does have good cards in the matchup. Cabal Shadow Priest has a lot of good targets against Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, definitely.
he can go late game with the best of them. The problem is the Warrior is probably favored if it goes to a Fatigue War, if he can amass a bunch of armor. Which, with a hand like this, he probably can. Smith picks up armor blocks as well.
Well, decent starting hand for Ek0p. Now,
Yeah.
of course, it's the wait-and-see approach of what it is. And with Pyromancer in hand, this does seem to lean towards the control aspect of the Priest. You have Pyromancer for the clears. You're more likely to run cards like Holy Smite or whatever ways you can get early spells. So it seems like this is a good start for Gaara. Getting the Priestess out early and get some draws to threaten whatever small minion comes out.
Yeah, for sure. Coining out the Acolyte here is only academic. Both players will be able to draw cards in future turns with their minions in play. And it's good to get your Acolyte value early before turn 6 because without the threat of Cabal, it's just best to get as many draws as you can. Even though this is a game that might go to Fatigue, it's just best to get your draws in.
Ooh, Fiery War Axe. So it's he can combine it to kill off his Northshire Cleric. It is a little clunky though. I mean, I think you're content with still drawing. See what you get.
Yeah, for sure. Depending on how highly he values his opponent not drawing, he can execute that.
Wow.
Denying card draw is very important in control versus control.
Absolutely, for sure. So because then you get the advantage of lining your removals and being able to play threats and outgassing your opponent.
Yeah. Equipping the War Axe here is probably his best line of play. It gives him the most mana for the next turn.
Yeah, assuming your opponent plays a reasonable sized threat, you're able to use the War Axe plus like the 2 other cards that you're able to use, like this cool Taskmaster and Slam.
Yeah, it just opens up a lot of options. Going on 4 mana for Gaara, he doesn't really have a clear-cut play. Akanai is challenged already by the War Axe.
Oof.
only needs-
Well, it's an easy clear here and cycle. Warrior's getting through so many of his cards and removing efficiently. That's what he needs to do. This is a great start for Ek0p.
Yeah, this is a wonderful start. Now I can just play his unstable ghoul that he wanted to play anyway.
With
he
shield
need-
block in hand. Oh, continue.
No, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just saying with shield block in hand, a lot of people are wondering maybe why not use the opportunity to build armor throughout the turns. But with shield block in hand, you feel like you can answer pretty much any threat as long as you have shield slam. And you don't even have shield slam, so you might be building to something that might not happen.
If he heals this Acolyte, he is telegraphing his Cabal like crazy.
Yes.
I think even by hovering over it, he telegraphed the Cabal.
Yeah, that is an interesting bluff too. If you just pretend that you have and you don't, he just goes for it. So how does Ek0p respond? Says, oh, well, better be careful. Do I even use my cool Taskmaster to put it outside of the range so that way he can't get it? Do you not even care that he takes his 1/3?
I would play the Taskmaster. You get
Yeah,
an
I
extra
like
card off it.
Taskmaster.
You get an extra card off it too,
Yeah.
and then your opponent is forced to take the 1/3, which will trigger the Acolyte again.
Oh gosh. There is such thing as too many draws too.
No. No,
I
it's-
know like players like Amaz, he likes making warrior overdraw with like healing acolytes and stuff in the late stages of the game.
yeah,
but not in
it's-
this scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, shield block Taskmaster is his best line of play here. Unless he wants to just armor up, which is also fine. You can make a case for armoring up, but just playing the shield block is probably best. It gets clunky cards out of your hand, and there's nothing challenging your armor, so you can just continue to build it up.
Wow, he's got Gromash and Alex Strazo as well.
2 very important cards in the matchup.
As if it's not tantalizing enough, Gaara gets a second Cabal Shadow Priest.
Yeah. I mean, it's a card that's always going to be good at some stages in the game. So it's not a bad card to pick up per se. But he's definitely going to play the one from he had before as to not telegraph that he drew another one. He kind of wants to just play it now so his opponent will play into the second one later. He can easily clear everything with what's on board as well.
Yeah, Fiery War Axe. Use the minions to trade. And just
And get-
continue to collect value. Just look at how much he's been able to get mileage off of these early game cards. And at the same time, there's no board from Priest. And it's going to be difficult for him to try and answer some of these huge threats.
That Acolyte drew 4 cards, man.
1, 2, 3, yeah. And it might even draw more.
Yeah.
This is bad news for Gaara. How do you kind of answer this now?
You just play the other Cabal.
Let me change your mind.
It's the best thing you can do in your hand for 6 mana as well. But again, it's not even the greatest. You can just easily clear this again.
Yep. Use
Another
Fiery War Axe. Play the
Yeah.
Sludge Belcher.
Could even hit 5 to the face. Continue to pressure your opponent. You've got the Grom in your hand. Getting your opponent to 15, possibly 10, if you can get another hit in with this Lotheb the next turn. You're very close to finding lethal.
This Acolyte has drawn
5.
more than a buzzard would. 5 cards.
Acolyte, please.
Nerf Acolyte. Start the campaign. Let Ben Brody know.
Let Rails know.
Yes. There's like this thread that was started about the Buzzard and Leroy being nerfed, and someone says, "Oh my God, Reels is really there fighting for us." It's like, dude, he didn't even start yet at Blizzard. And I was like, I don't care. Reels for president.
Reels for president. I can get behind this.
Sounds good. All right, well, Gaara can climb back with Thought Steal, but a lot of the cards that he would like to take are sitting in the hand of Warrior, which make it ineligible for stealing here.
I think Black Knight for sure coming down this turn. This is like one of the
Yes.
only taunts.
Black Knight, get some mileage, heal your creature, or your minion rather. Now back over to Ek0p, he's got a lot of ways to think about how he wants to impact the board. He draws into Cairn. Oh my. Well. That's a pretty good draw.
I think the best play is if you play the Unstable Ghoul. It already challenges the Taskmaster, and he would have to kill it with the Black Knight anyway, and then he can continue to get in face damage with the Lotheb. He has Ragnaros, and he's challenging 9 damage the next turn. And if he challenges an extra 9 damage next turn, he's also got Grom for 4 charge in his hand. And it also makes top decking Death's Bite or another Taskmaster within the next 2 turns lethal as well.
That's true. I just like the stability that Cairn presents, not to mention that it's before mind control. So
Yeah.
you're coming up on turns where you can get a good presence. Not to mention, if you can't even kill off this 1/3, you might somehow find a way to pop it and then activate Grommash for a kill anyways. So this is a good position for Ek0p to be in. Gaara's in hot water.
Yeah. I like attacking face with the Lotheb there, because now if he kills off the Unstable Ghoul, it'll just kill off the Lotheb as well.
All right, well, Gaara's gonna go for Thought Steal and do his best to steal something of value. Gets what looks to be Sludge Belcher and Shield Block. Okay-ish cards. And I believe this is... Can you end the game here? Oh, actually,
No.
you're just a little bit short.
If he did keep his Lotheb alive, his opponent would be at a lot lower. He would be at 10, and then he would have what looks like
It's
would have
1
been 9
damage
damage.
off right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. The one attack from the Unstable Ghoul, trolling his opponent.
Yeah. I think you can get away with playing the Grom here.
Doesn't seem like a too bad of a scenario. Put your opponent at 1 health. It's not like Priest players are playing Alex Strasser last time I checked.
Nope. And you can't thought steal it because it's in your hand.
Absolutely. Well, Gaara's got 1 life. He still can rebound a little bit of it, but the bigger picture, how do you deal with Grommash without Shadow or Death?
The short of it, you don't.
Well, Thought Steal Execute. Or you try to cycle.
He's got 2 cards that can draw in his hand, 3 if he chooses to heal with the cleric, but he needs to make sure that he has enough mana to use the death or the execute. I think you just start off with the Power Word Shield.
Yeah,
Try
it's the
and-
cheapest. Might give you the direct option. Holy fire.
It's a blank.
Yep. I mean, it kills off the Grom, but
Even if he opts to kill off the Grom with it and the Spellbreaker, he still takes 4 damage from the Cairn, and then the Ragnaros would be lethal.
Right. But this is not something that he knows.
No.
For all he
sure.
knows, he just needs to survive a little bit longer. And he is going for a Holy Fire, which means that the Ragnaros will be the killer. You go up to 11 health, and the 12 damage is too much. So, Gaara is going to drop 0-3. Ek0p off to 1 game away. And already, this is such a quick grand final so far. He's looking at sweeping his opponent 4-0.
Good old warrior man.
Yeah. Warrior's not bad. Gaara's gonna have to 4-0 with Hunter.
Kit Kats did not lie today, man. Good old warrior.
Forget that he's a strong player and he can contend for the championship. A lot of his losses on stream have always been because his opponent was doing like an insane amount of top decking or drawing. Like I remember his match against the Maz, for example, where it was like the exact card that he needed in that instance. And Ek0p was so salty after that.
Salty Cup. Well, he's been playing these sets perfectly, which I'm very, very impressed by. Not a lot of people actually play perfect throughout the entire series, in the entire 2 series that I've cast. So props to Ek0p for sure. Both players looking like they have an insane opening hand. The warrior with a strong curve is like very powerful. He's got Armor Smith, Taskmaster, Acolyte, and Deathbite, which is like the dream start against a hunter, especially because he skipped his first turn.
He's got board initiative. He's got removal and execute, so he scales pretty well into the mid game against big creatures like high mates.
Yeah. He's got the tools he needs to beat the hunter. He just needs to dodge 2 high mains or something. Something insane. I think he's debating attacking and then using the Taskmaster to finish off the Hunter Creeper. Armoring up is also fine. This line of play opens you up to the Eagle Horn Bow, though.
Which is conveniently in the hand. But Gaara insta-calls his animal companion. And
Not
he
sure.
gets a Leok.
Not sure I agree with that.
Yeah, I think shutting down Armor Smith is a high priority considering what your opponents can do and keep it alive with. Ek0p can now execute this animal companion, start gaining more armor, bully whatever on the board, and also deny the opponent from getting a Houndmaster as well. So this is a very bad start once again for the Hunter.
Yeah. We've been just seeing Hunter get destroyed in these sets. Other than the one game, of course, against the Priest, where he just drew nothing.
Well, he's got a board clear, and he can start things off once again with Undertaker, but then Ek0p's already weathered most of the early game storm. He's got Deathbite plus whatever comes out next. And then that allows him to start getting synergy off his Acolyte to draw into more threats as the game develops. I really have to lean towards Ek0p right now, just by looking at what we have here. Unless there's an ability for Gaara to rubber band back into the game with cards like High Main or a big draw off Unleash the Hounds.
It would take an insane series of top decks to come back from this point.
Well, be careful what you wish for, Impact. This
I just
is
wanna cast
Hearthstone
more-
after all.
I want
Hey,
to cast
there's
more
one.
games, man.
There's one. We see a High Main. So that's a possible way if your opponent has a very weak turn, like say it's just Acolyte armor up and nothing else. You have the board, your opponent just used Execute.
Do you agree with his attack there?
To use the Eagle Horn Bow charge?
Yeah, that opens him up to Harrison Jones, which is pretty common in warrior decks.
That's also true. It's also true. I think at this point you realize you're so far behind, you have to take some risks.
I can get behind that.
Yeah. You're so far behind. The High Main has to go down. You have to get in your damage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shield block, shield slam. Well, there you go, the 2-card combo. So how about insane top decks met by slightly more insane top decks?
I like it. Okay, so he kills that, and then plays Armor Smith, and kills both the creatures in play. He should attack with the. If he was going to clear, he should attack with the Death Bite to get an extra couple armor. But I guess he doesn't
Yeah.
want to do that.
Well, maybe now he doesn't want to do that, given that he thought about it. He should have thought about it before he goes for the instant decision. But yeah, you're absolutely right.
I think it would have been better to just kill it anyway. It denies Houndmaster getting a free Armor Smith.
Yeah.
Also denies kill command on the guy.
At least it's not kill command to the face.
Sure enough.
And now Gaara is sitting, looking at a board clear with his opponent able to take the board with whatever he draws. HearthStats still looking for something, and that's great. That's excellent.
That was just the card he was looking for. He can
Gaara
even
needs something
equip,
big off this web
Yeah.
spinner, by the way.
yeah, he can even equip the War Axe to continue to deal with more mid-game threats and let him play Ragnaros next turn. So with
Sounds
War
good
Axe,
to me.
with War Axe and Sludge Belcher, you're pretty strong here.
Yeah, excellent play once again from HearthStats, making sure not to just overvalue hero powering as much as some people think. It's the key to staying even with Hunter. He's just recognizing his lead, just pressing for it. And Gaara gets Leper Gnome. How's that for great top decks?
He gets he can kill it with the. I would kill it with the Sludge Belcher myself personally. Kind of just
he kills
prevent
that
an extra
ahead.
2 damage.
The Leper Gnome just does nothing. Just 4 damage, which is pretty inconsequential at this stage. And the snipe onto the Lotheb. Gaara is getting some good draws, but he's been getting some bad draws. And 2 back-to-back poor draws in Leper Gnome and his Hunter's Mark. So he's just going to be sitting here uncomfortable. Meanwhile, HearthStats does have Grommash and Slam in hand as a way to finish the game on turn 10.
Yeah, or he's just gonna. Well, he has no good play this turn. If he doesn't do something, there's nothing wrong with just playing the Grom and attacking. You're so far ahead at this point. You have a 50-50 to kill the creature, and
Well, you can kill the creature too, guarantee with Grom.
well, yeah.
And then, yeah.
I guess I'm just valuing face damage a bit too much. Because at this point,
It's all
you're just trying to close out the game before the hunter can draw something crazy.
Well, Gaara needed Buzzard, but it doesn't look like he can do anything about this. He's looking at 13 damage just with on board immediately, so he can't even survive.
Yeah. I think he's just gonna show him his cards here. Say, good game.
And just like that, HearthStats going to win 4-0 over Gaara in the grand finals. How's that for decisive victory? As HearthStats is going to do a little victory dance.
I like it. I can respect it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's one way to wake yourself up at 5 a.m. in the morning after a long day of games. Both of these guys played in Prismatic Cup, so they're exhausted. But HearthStats finally able to get another tournament under his belt. That marks his second tournament win after Take TV Invitational, and he is this HearthStats Season 1 champion.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by his play. He's playing the Warrior excellent.
All right, we're kind of trying to grab Ek0p immediately for an interview before he just passes out, but I'm sure he's pumping through with a lot of adrenaline at the moment.
Oh yeah, he's probably just ecstatic right now. I mean, I would be. Those were some pretty decisive games.
All right, well, I think HearthStats is
yes.
on the line at the moment, and he's going to welcome himself to the stream.
Oh, yes,
so-
it's me. It's a me. Ek0p.
So, HearthStats, talk to me about how you're feeling. You must be really happy to win this tournament here.
Of course, I'm ecstatic. Like, this is an amazing feeling to win a tournament, even though it's like kind of damped by my tiredness. Yeah,
Well,
but
don't
still.
worry, buddy. We'll find a way to celebrate eventually. I'll buy you a beer or something, or three, because I know you like those.
Yeah, I mean,
So
we'll see
talk.
each other at DreamHack, so there's your chance.
Oh yeah, absolutely for sure. So talk to me about the games a little bit. It seemed like Gaara from the very beginning was able to try and go for board pressure. I was very surprised with how some of the games end up panning out. Like for example, the Paladin versus Warrior game. But just walk me through the series overall. It seemed like you were very calm and in control the entire time. Like there was never any moment where Gaara was pressing any threat against you.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually I was much more confident in this lineup in this matchup because of the format itself. Like you can ban 2 classes and you can just ban the classes that are best against your decks. And Gaara did not have as many decks prepared against me that were good, like Firebat did. So I just banned the 2 classes that I felt most threatened by, which was the Mage and the Warlock. And yeah, I just went from there. So and Warrior had, as you can see, a decent matchup against pretty much everything that Gaara could bring, except for maybe the Paladin. But yeah, I guess he maybe got kind of unlucky with that Paladin. Also, he did a misplay with where he when he had equality with and I had Sylvanas on the board, and he did not trade his minion first, so I got his minion and got lethal because of that.
Yeah, he was very noticeably upset on webcam. He was pretty stressed out. Even if he was wearing sunglasses, you could tell he was not happy after that moment.
Yeah, he made many noticeable mistakes in those games. That being the huge one. But I want to say, that you played those games excellent. I did not see any plays that I would have changed. Very well played.
Yeah, thank you very much. I definitely deserve to win this tournament, and yeah, the best player won in the end.
I agree.
There you go. Ek0p, do you feel like you belong in tier 2 as the Chinese have pegged you?
I mean,
After a win
Chinese,
like this?
I'm pretty sure the Chinese have like those kind of Dragon Ball Z scouters to measure power levels of players. But yeah, those must be broken because they predict my tournament results to be on a downhill trend. But lo and behold, I am the winner.
Yeah. In 2 months, you've gotten to the finals twice and won a tournament. That's still pretty decent, although there are more opportunities in the future. So good luck in your future as well. So I guess that's going to wrap up our final segment. Do you have any last comments, words, thank you, shout outs, or, flip offs to the haters?
Nah, I'm just going to go to sleep. Bye, guys.
All right. Well, congratulations to Ek0p and a well-deserved rest as he 4-0s Gaara in the grand finals to claim